Travis Gillespie here. Let's take a look at another problem. Often in math, you're faced with a lot of data. Actually, more often in life, you're faced with lots of data, but it also occurs in math. And quite often, that data, it's comprised of numbers. For example, here's a bunch of numbers here. Let's say 5, 3, 8, 2, 0, I don't know, 1, 8, and 5. So I've got all this data right here, comprised of numbers. Let's think of this data right here as a set. And there are ways to distill this collection down. There are, in fact, numbers you can use to describe these sets of numerical data. And these values, I'm going to call them the mean, median, oops, spelled that wrong, the mode, and the range. Now, let me describe what the mean is to you first. The mean is you take all this data up here and you add all the numbers up and divide them by the entire size or points in the data collection. Add all the data, then divide by the total number. So, well, if I added all these up, 5 is 8 and 16, 18, 19, 24, 19. So I end up with 32 over the total number here, which is 2, 4, 6. I've got an 8 total, so 32 over 8. I end up with, I'm going to clean all this up a bit, rewrite it. So I end up with 32 over 8. Well, that equals 4. So my mean is 4. Okay, so now that I have my mean, I'm going to move on to the median. And the median, I take the entire data collection of 4 values here, and I'm going to order them from least to greatest. So let me just clean this up some, break this off here, and now over to the right, I'm going to reorder these numbers in green from least to greatest. So I've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, 8, and 8. And I should have 8 values again. 2, 4, 6, and 8 values. So now that I've ordered them from least to greatest, since 0 is my first, it's the least, or the smallest number. The next greatest number is 1, and then the next greatest is 2. And so you can see that they're ordered from least to greatest. Now the median actually is the middle number within this set. However, you can see that I have, again, an even number of values. I have 8 different values here, and therefore there isn't an actual middle number, and I can prove that right here. 2, 4. Well, my middle numbers are between the 3 and the 5. This is the midpoint right here. So I've got 4 numbers on the left, 4 numbers on the right. There's no actual middle number. However, if I had an odd number of values, then you'd know there is one middle number. But when there are an even number of values, what you end up doing is you kind of take the 2 flanking values, or these 2 middle values. In this case, it's the 3 and the 5. And what I'm going to do with them is I'm going to take the mean of these 2 values. So what I'll do is I'll add the 3 and the 5 together and divide by 2. And that will give me 3 plus 5 is 8. So now I have 8 over 2, and that gives me 4 as well. Now, in this case, my mean and my median are the same value. They both equal 4. However, this isn't always the case, so you always want to make sure you calculate both the mean and the mode with each new problem. you'll want to be able to compute them both. And now let's move on to the mode. The mode, basically what I'm doing here is I am looking for the value that occurs most often, or pretty much I'm looking for the most popular value. Well, in this case, I'm going to underline them in blue. I see that 5 occurs 2 times, and 8 occurs 2 times. So I end up having a tie between two values that are the most popular. So in this case, I have two modes, and those modes are 5 and, fix that up some, 5 and 8 are my two modes. And that leads me to my last value. My last value is the range, and the range is basically the spread of data. It's the difference from the latest least to greatest values. So my greatest value is an 8. I'm taking the difference of the greatest and least value here. So my least or smallest value is 0. So 8 minus 0 equals 8. So I see that my spread or my range is going to be 8. So again, there are 4 different values that help to describe the sets of numerical data up top. And these 4 different values, the mean, median, mode, and range, where the mean, again, it is taking the, basically you're taking the average of the values, you're adding them all up and dividing by the total value. The median, where you're taking the middle number or the middle value. If it's an even number, you're going to have to take the mean of the 2 middle values. However, if it's an odd number of values that you have in your data set, you just find the middle number. The mode is the value that occurs most often, or the most popular value. You can have more than one mode, or you can have 0 modes. And the range is the difference from least to greatest in your numerical set. The smallest value and the largest value. Neat stuff.